before continuing further, I am keep on repeating a concept called dashboard. What is a dashboard? Is nothing but in Power BI desktop. In Power BI desktop, the report structure is like this. By default, one page will be there, and if based on your requirement, you are going to create a multiple pages. Each page you are going to create a multiple visualizations. Each page will contain a multiple visualizations. You are going to create a report with a multiple pages, and each page with a multiple visualizations, and each page you are going to represent a separate module, separate entity you are going to represent. This is a report you are going to create in Power BI desktop. Once you create this report, you are going to publish in a Power BI service. The same report will come. Then after, you are going to create a dashboard. What is a dashboard? Is nothing but it's a high level representation of your report. What it contains is visualizations from different pages of a report. High level insights it is going to contain. So this is what user will see as a first page, and whenever the user interact with the visualization over here, he will be redirected to this page, and he can interact with the complete report. Whenever he click on this one, he will be redirected to this page. He can interact with the complete this page. So a dashboard is nothing but it's a high level representation of a report. It is going to contain a high level insights, like high level insights of your report. It is containing a visualization from a different pages of a report. At this point of time, that is a statement. If anyone asks, boss, your dashboard can be contain a visualizations from a different report, means yes. A dashboard can contain the visualizations of different reports also. In a single dashboard, I am going to keep a different insights which can be a part of a different reports. This is also possible, but this is a more depth. We don't require all these things as part of first session. A dashboard is nothing but a high level information of a report. Why? Because a report contains a multiple pages. If a report contains only one page, you don't require that one. As a report contains a multiple pages, multiple modules or multiple entities information it is going to contain, a high level information you are going to keep it. In a simple terms, if you have any business, you have a CRM concept will be there, leads and sales information will be there. Leads and sales, they will not be linked together generally. Why? Because we are going to generate a leads from a different sources, like a social media or different channels we are going to generate. That leads and sales information, there will not be a link. Okay. So at that time, if I want to represent both of them, I will create two report pages. One is leads information, how many people came from a social media, how many people came from a direct visit, or how many people interacted over a phone, or what are the different age ranges. That is one page, and the sales information in one page. Those two things I am representing on a dashboard in a single page. Okay. So a dashboard is nothing but a high level information of your report. Why? Because it is containing a multiple pages of report. That is what a dashboard. Dashboard creation is nothing within a minute of activity. Once you are done with your report, dashboard is easily created. So that is what a dashboard. We are going to have a discussion on it. Now that is what the differences between the SSRS and Power BI and what Power BI contains. And now what is a generic report structure? So there are lot of reporting tools are there, lot of jobs also there. Every tool having a good jobs, frankly telling you. But at this point of time, Power BI having a bit more edge when compared to ClickView and other tools. And for now, leave about a jobs thing. If you want to become a reporting developer, or if you are a report developer, what are the roles and responsibilities, or what are the activities that you are going to do is, if you want to create a report, whatever the reporting tool it is, you need to prepare the data if the data is not ready. I am telling you, as part of our sessions or any one sessions, data always be ready. They will keep an Excel file or one SQL Server database. They will keep ready. They will simply load the tables and they will create a visualizations, and we feel that amazing. There is no work, simply drag and drop we feel. But in a live environment, you need to prepare a data. most of the cases. So for that, you require SQL knowledge. Frankly telling you, it's not mandatory to like having SQL to learn a Power BI, but after getting a job, it is required. SQL is required. Whatever the technology that you select, SQL is required. So if the data is not ready, you need to prepare the data with the help of SQL queries. So basic SQL is required. And next, once the data is ready, you need to load the tables in reporting tool and create a model. And you need to load the tables and you need to create a relationships between them, and you are going to create a measures or calculated measures the Tableau people used to speak. We are going to create a measures and creating a relationships in a tool. So once the data is ready, you need to load the data in a reporting tool and you need to create a model. If required, we need to do transformations. Then after, if not required, directly create a visualizations and customize them. Customize is nothing but like creating a visualization is nothing, okay, but you need to make it attractive. So that one is you need to design it like in such a way that it is attractive. You need to increase the font size, you need to provide a background colors, you need to provide a borders, you need to provide titles. Lot of customization is there, alignments, everything you need to take care. So that decoration I'm calling it as customize. Once you done that one, you need to implement a security. Who can see it, who cannot see it, if they can see it, what they need to see it, everything you need to provide a security. Most of the people will have a basic question that does Power BI support dynamic security, or they will tell a scenario that boss, if I have a customers in India, they need to see only India data. If I have a customers in US, they need to see only US data. Yes, Power BI support. As a simple statement, we need to apply a security based on our business requirement. Then after, once you create a report, once you provide a security, what you need to do? You need to deploy it. And then after, you need to share it and you need to configure a automated data refresh. This is the thing for any reporting tool contains. Whatever the reporting tool, if you want to create a visualizations, this is the thing. These are the steps, blind steps. Okay. If you are comfortable with one reporting tool, other two reporting tools are nothing. Within a 3 or 4 days of time, you can learn that reporting and you can go ahead as that reporting developer. Okay. So as I have the people from a DBS, I have the people from non MSBI background, I'm saying this one. These are the only steps that you need to take care as part of a reporting developer. But as we are a Power BI developers, here also even a Power BI developer, the same concept is there, but we need to prepare the data required loading and creating a model of Power Pivot, Power Query, Power View, and then after you need to implement a security and after security you need to publish on Power BI service. After publishing, you need to create a dashboard. And then after you need to share it, and then after you need to perform an automated data refresh. These are the blind steps as a Power BI developer. If you want to create a one report or one dashboard, these are the steps that we need to take care of. These are the blind steps. But this will be helpful in order to make you happy at the time of training. But there is a best practice always be there. Especially Power BI requires a best practice. I don't know about the other things. Without a best practice, Power BI product will not success. That need to be shut down. Why I will tell you. The best practice is, before explaining a best practice, I will make one statement that Power BI service, I said, it's a software as a service. Power BI Pro, I said, you need to purchase with the $10, right? If you purchase with the $10, you have all the capabilities. But what is the capacity that you can load the data is 10 GB overall, 2 GB per report. After purchasing a license with a $10, your capacity is only 2 GB of data. You cannot push more than 2 GB of data into a cloud as part of a report. but you know that in a live environment how much data you will have. So with a 2 GB of data, your enterprise level organization with enterprise report will work. It will not. It will not. Yet at that time, you need to follow the best practices. Okay. Not only that point, there are many points are there which we are going to discuss as part of our sessions. But I am saying you that Power BI service can handle a maximum of a 2 GB of data per data set. But in a live environment, more than 2 GB of data will be there. In order to handle that one, you need to have a separate framework. For that, what you need to do is SQL Server or Azure SQL or Azure Data Warehouse as a source you need to have. Best practice. You need to have a source as these three things. Here, if these are the sources, all your transformations can be performed with the help of SQL. Then after, you need to use tabular SSAS for a modeling, which is nothing but Power Pivot, I said, right? So Power Query is nothing but a transformations which you need to do here. Power Query will be done as part of a first thing. Power Pivot will be done as part of tabular SSAS. Next, Power View can be done directly with the help of Power BI Pro, right? I said Power BI Pro contains a Power BI Power View, or you can use a desktop. This is the best practice. Any company, whatever the company that you are going to join, or whatever the teams that you are working with, in your teams, even if you are not working, if someone is working, if this approach is not followed, the project will be shut down. That's it. That's it. Even though Power BI is, I'm saying that boss, Power BI support 50 sources, that is a shit. If you are going to have more than 2 GB of data, that is a shit. So you need to bring your data, Teradata or Oracle, MySQL, any source. You need to load in these sources. Then after, prepare the queries if required with the help of SQL. Then after, you need to do a data modeling here. Then after, you need to create a visualizations. If you follow this approach, people will not give you a job. Even if someone give you a job, you need to be ready to get another job. Okay. So this is the best practice. This we are going to see with an example. We are going to spend like 3 or 4 days of time. Why we need to implement this one, or how to implement this one, end-to-end framework we are going to have a discussion. That is what I used to call it as a flow implementation as part of my course. Not now, from last 1.5 years I have been telling this one. By speaking only this one, I have 100 people who got a job as a Power BI developers. Even after completion of your course, as part of your interview, if your interview happened for 30 minutes of time, you will speak this one after almost 3 or 4 times. Okay, I am guaranteeing you on that one. At the end of a course, you will get to know. But this is the best practice, and people will look for only this one. People will not look for this one. So anyways, we are going to see this one. And I said, Jayachandra or whoever asked that question, if your data is more than 2 GB, you must get the data into these sources. Then after this framework, then after this framework. Other than that, if you want to work with only Power BI, it will not help you. So this is what we are going to have a discussion. Now, as part of this course, what I am going to cover is, I am going to cover Power BI desktop, service, mobile, report server, flow implementation, that is nothing but best practice implementation, and SSAS, DAX, ADW, ADL, ADF, Azure Data Warehouse. I said right, Azure Data Warehouse. You need to have at least one knowledge in order to crack the interview, like in order to get a job, in order to compete with others. Okay, at this point of time, you can go and crack the job. That is not all a big deal. But competition always keep on improving. Okay, so we need to showcase the other things. So that's why I'm providing these things with Power BI. So if you mention I know Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Lake, if you say I know, you will get a job. So why? Because there are no people in the market. These things I'm going to cover. So don't feel it's a shit which I'm mentioning as interview questions. Everyone will say the same. But we are going to dedicatedly spend time on that one. And roles and responsibilities. This is also important. Why? Because even today, most of the people out of 100 job requirements, 98 requirements, they don't know that what is the roles and responsibilities and job description they need to give for a Power BI developer. Out of 100 Power BI jobs, 98 jobs you can see that without roles and responsibilities and without job description. Why? Because they don't know. Most of the companies, they don't have the people who can interview also. Interview panel also not there. So the roles and responsibilities will play a major role, and we are going to cover the roles and responsibilities and interview questions, and all these things will be covered as part of this course. As part of this course means I am going to cover this one as part of my course. Now, fee structure, I've spoken with a lot of people, but I'm clearly, I will not hide the things. I'm discussing it itself. And finally, there are three other things are there. What is the scope of it? If you learn by spending a 16k with a Srinivas, this season also very cold. Early morning attending a class at 7:30. After spending a 1 month of time on 16k, what is the scope of Power BI? Now you can get a job without any issue. That is the scope. And the prerequisites. Prerequisites, as I said, like technically, SQL also not a mandatory. As part of your learning of Power BI, I will help you people to learn SQL Server. Okay, so SQL Server, if you are already familiar, that is fine. Otherwise, I am a SQL Server trainer also. I will share 10 videos with you people. Those 10 videos will help you to start SQL Server, like how to install, how to write a query, how to execute, what are the basic concepts, everything it will help you. In a 10 days of time, you are going to get everything. Thereafter, if you pay 100 rupees in Amirpet market or Bangalore market, if it is a Bangalore market, it might be 200. Okay, if you pay 100, you are going to get a one notes. You can peacefully read everything within a 2 or 3 days of time, and you can say that I know complete SQL Server. You just need a basic understanding of SQL, and once you get a job, you will have a 6 days or 10 days of time. After getting a job, you have another 10 days of time. Within that 20 days of time, you can learn, you can become an expert also. It's not a mandatory. If you start learning SQL, again after 2 months, the Power BI another 5,000 people will be there in the market. So it's not a mandatory that you need to be an expert on a SQL server, or you need to be aware. I'm going to take care with installation, everything as part of a class, even though you don't know anything. That is what prerequisite. Basic SQL is required. MSBI is not at all required. Basic SQL, you can become an expert. I can guide you. And with respect to infrastructure, everyone requires a Windows 10 or Windows 8 operating system with a 64-bit, or Windows 7 Service Pack 1 required. Okay, so Windows 10 or Windows 8 with a 64-bit is required to practice everything. 10 or 8 64-bit, or Windows 7 Service Pack 1 or later is required to practice Power BI and SSAS, SQL Server and everything. I am going to provide all the software. I am going to help you how to install everything. I am going to guide you. You don't need to worry about the softwares and everything. So this is the hardware, like infrastructure requirement and technical requirement. And scope of Power BI. Scope of Power BI, as Brahma said, like data scientists or whoever. Let's consider you are a data scientist, anyone. What they are going to do? They are going to analyze, they are going to implement the algorithms on a data. They are going to discover something, and how they are going to represent. They need a one medium, right? Even though data scientists, even though they discovered a lot by implementing a Python, R and everything, they need to project it. On what way they are going to project it? They require a PPT or they require one reporting tool. So a reporting tool always required, whatever the technology is there. And now in Azure, Microsoft having all the capabilities. Microsoft, whatever you see in the market, everything is there as part of a Microsoft. Not only Power BI scope, Microsoft scope understand now. So you feel that like Hadoop is having a good market, data science is having a good market, AI is having a good market. All the shit is available here in Microsoft, and all these are having in next 2 years or 3 years of time, you feel that these are having a good market. So you can observe that if I this Azure portal, if I click on a new, you are able to see that AI, all machine learning algorithms are there. You can create a machine learning project with the help of Azure. Data and analytics are there. So HD Insights, Azure Data Lake Analytics. Okay, so everything is available over here. Data Factory, Data Catalog, Data Lake Store, everything is available. And IoT, Internet of Things are there. Event hubs, stream analytics, and everything is there. So data science related concepts are there, like Microsoft SQL Server supports 2017 support a Python, 2016 support a R. You can run R scripts in SQL Server. So R is there, Python is there, Hadoop is there, machine learning is there, IoT things are there. Everything is there in Microsoft. If everything is available in Microsoft, what is the reporting tool Microsoft will use? Power BI is going to use. Okay, it's not simply like reporting developers will have a scope that just creating a visualization, but you have many things are there here. For all these things, the end point is Power BI. Whatever you are going to do here with stream analytics or HD Insights, whatever you are going to get the data, you are going to project through Power BI. That I can say as a scope. At limited scope, if you consider all Microsoft in India, I know that I am also a MSBI developer in Hyderabad. There are a lot of MSBI people are there, lot of Bangalore, all the places. For all the MSBI projects, they need to migrate and they need to work on a Power BI. They need to work on a Power BI. And all the non-Microsoft projects, even Oracle or whatever, Power BI license is $10. What is the license for a Tableau? I think it is $70 or something. I don't know much about Tableau. I don't want to compare. With a $10, you can do a lot with a Power BI. And then after you can embed in another place without spending money, you can make it. So you have a scope of all these things. IoT things are there, artificial intelligence is there, machine learning is there, stream analytics and everything, data lake analytics. Data lake analytics is nothing but Hadoop. Okay, data lake store and databases, Azure databases are there. So everything, Cosmos DB, like document DB is nothing but a Cosmos DB. Like instead of on-premise databases, we have data warehouse SQL. This is the scope. If you get a chance as a Power BI developer, at this point of time, whoever learns a Power BI end to end, they can get a job. If you get a job as a Power BI developer, you are going to work on a backward approach. Once you joined as a Power BI developer, there your team has a scope that you can learn on you can work on a machine learning, you can work on IoT things, you can work on Azure. Okay, you can enter into the other fields. And these things in next 10 years, completely Microsoft is there. Even MSBI will have a calls now. Even MSBI having a very less calls now after 8 years. Power BI just started, Azure just started. Next 10 years, this is the scope. You can see all these names as part of other technologies. But today I am saying, in Ameerpet market or Bangalore market, there are no trainers who can teach Azure Data Lake or Azure Machine Learning or Azure Data Warehouse, Azure SQL. No one is there. That is the reason I started a company there. It's not an institute. Okay, we are going to provide all these trainings, Azure trainings, all Azure trainings, instead of MSBI and all those things. Only Azure trainings we are going to provide, and we are going to provide resources to the companies. We are going to provide a service, Azure service to the companies, and I know the scope. That's why we started there. Okay, I don't know how many people joined in that institute today, but we are going to be as Microsoft Azure Solutions company. Even today in the Ameerpet market, there are no one providing these trainings. No one. Power BI, they started 4 or 5 institutes I saw. Out of that, 3 are my resources. Okay, so all these things, this is the scope. If you join as a Power BI developer, you can work on these things. And working on Microsoft technology is nothing but you just need to understand what is what. You don't need to write code. Everything that is going to provide. Even a machine learning also. You just need to understand what algorithm, what source it is going to take, what is the output that is going to give. If you can understand, or if you can by heart it, you can implement that one. Data science and everything. I am working with the data science resources who used to charge per hour $1,000. They are providing nothing. they provide a shit and the product got failed. One of the digital like analytics company, biggest company got failed. So data science, even though you got a job as a data science developer, like base what other people know. If I am a director, I hired a data science resource, I paid a lot. If I don't know anything, whatever the shit he is going to do, nothing to me. Okay, everything is not at all useful, and Microsoft provides a easy way to the developer without having a much technical knowledge. Everything will be developed as algorithms. You just need to provide as input, automatical output will be generated. That is what a market looks. If you want to see the scope, search for a jobs in a UK. You can see all these things. In India, you are not yet started. In India, we are going to hype that one, and we are going to become a part of Azure Analytics company. So that's why the scope is this one. There are a lot of things are there in Microsoft Azure. For everything, the endpoint is Power BI. So just become a Power BI developer. You work backward. That will help you as part of your career. And if you don't understand all these things, simply understand this one. So SQL, I will close the class in next 10 minutes of time max. SQL Server, SSIS, SSAS, SSRS. All MSBA people, SQL Server DBA people. This is the framework. Existing MSBA products are there. The SQL Server was replaced with Azure SQL, Azure DW. SSIS was replaced with ADF, Azure Data Factory. Analysis services, we have a multi-dimensional tabular are there. In a multi-dimensional SSAS, the updates were stopped long back. We have Azure tabular SSAS. We don't have Azure multi-dimensional SSAS. Okay, which means it got stopped everything. With respect to multi-dimensional SSAS, there is no scope. And instead of SSRS, Power BI is there. Everything, Power BI is a cloud, Azure is a cloud, Azure Tabular is cloud, Azure DF is cloud, Azure DW, Azure SQL is a cloud, and sometimes your data will be available in a non-structured format, which is nothing but a Hadoop. People used to say, right, no SQL, MongoDB, no SQL. For that, we have a ADL is there, unstructured data, Cosmos DB is there. So all Azure concepts, all Hadoop concepts, all machine learning concepts are there in Power, like Microsoft. But those are not yet popular, which is going to get popular in next 6 months or 1 year of a time. Before getting it popular, if you know something called Azure Data Factory or Azure Data Lake, if you keep it as part of resume, you can make it. So Azure Cosmos DB, this is a document DB. So for unstructured data, structured data, these are the sources. ADF instead of SSIS, we have ADF is there. Instead of SSIS, Azure Tabular is there. Instead of SSRS, Power BI is there. Even though MSBA developers, you need to learn these things in order to survive your job. And DBS, I think I spent 30,000. I mentioned DBS also can learn this one. Why? Because everything becomes a cloud environment. So cloud environment means Azure Data Warehouse, Azure SQL, Azure Data Factory, everything will be taken care by the cloud. They don't need any maintenance. You don't need to take any backups manually. You don't need to provide anything of manual support. Restoring like backups, monitoring, everything is not required. Everything will be taken care of by Azure portal. At that time, the scope of a DBA is limited. And frankly telling you, once upon a time, DBA is nothing but if they did a 20 days DBA course, they can get a job. SQL Server DBA. But in order to get a DBA job now, leave about a cloud, they need SQL Server. They need MSBI. They need a DBA skills. Even though they are DBA experts, they will not get a job if they don't know MSBI, they know SQL Server. That is what the picture of DBA is last 2 years of time. So, and even though you know everything, now there are very less scope for a DBS. Why? Because everything moved to cloud. So, whoever want next 10 years of scope, you people need to move into a cloud environment. And this is the early stage of a cloud environment.